My story is far from finished, man. Been plotting and scheming since the beginning, fam. You talk about money, well, let's get it then. And go straight to the connect, forget a middleman. But the goal is not to sell drugs. We use that as the stepping stool to rise above. Gotta teach the kids better, man. And pray to the Lord to see a better day. Free my homies in the trenches. They going for it even if it's fourth down in inches. I'm right where they want me to be, cause it was Black Lives Matter before Colin took a knee.
Okay, welcome to Upstate Exposure Podcast. I go by the name of Ken Kniff. Today we got in the building Wayman Daniels, so let's give it up for Wayman. It's good to have you here. Appreciate you coming through.
Yes.
He's a very important person in the community. He goes around, speaking and telling his truth about the things he's been through. A lot of transparency, truth, and blessing is on this man. So I definitely wanted to have him on the show. It's good to have you on the show, man.
Well, thank you, brother. I appreciate coming. It's an honor to come and even just talk about my life and share the message.
Yes,
the message of hope.
It deserves to be spread.
I appreciate this gracious platform.
Yes, thank you.
I guess what I can say is I can start off by this and just digress just a moment and just tell you where I come from, what I've been through, and how I've been transforming or evolving to where I'm at right now. I share with a lot of people my story of a young man growing up without a father. Never knew my father's name, never saw his face, never heard his voice. Ooh. And so that traumatized me in such a way because my mother left him when I was 6 months old. And I don't know the full story of why she left, but my father put a gun on my mother. And so she left Columbus, Ohio to come to Rochester, New York. So take that into consideration, growing up from 6 months old to even being 40 years old, hoping that you would get a chance to meet the man that was a part of your creation.
Right.
But I'm gonna show you how much it traumatized me because my father got killed when I was 13.
Ooh.
So
sorry to hear that,
now you look at the trauma. I'm still waiting for him to come and say, "Hey, man, how you doing at 40?" And so what happened was I ended up going to prison at 37. And how I ended up going to prison, I got involved in gangs and doing drugs and was homeless because I made the conscientious choice to chase a drug rather than chasing my dream.
Oh, man.
And so in the midst of that, when I was 37, got convicted to 20 years in the state penitentiary, I sat there at 40 after doing 3 years, bro. I never called my dad, which was my stepfather, but he is my dad.
Right.
He's been there since I was 9 months old.
Raising you, right.
And I hated his guts because he wasn't my father. I hated him because I was still yearning for someone that was never going to come. And I can put this the best way I know how. My father was a dream to me, bro. I used to wonder what it would be like to speak with him, to talk to him, to hear his voice, and for him to come in the door and say, "Hey, man, I love you. I got you, champ."
Man.
All I was doing was dreaming about something that was never going to become my reality.
Right.
And I was stuck in a place of trauma and abandonment, and I blamed myself. And I was only 6 months old, so how can you blame yourself?
Yeah.
So when I went to prison, was there for 3 years, and I asked God to forgive me of my sins and come into my life. And just as plain as day, my conscience said to me, how can he forgive you if you can't forgive your stepfather, which is your dad, who's been there your whole entire life? I said, I forgive him, God. Me and God having a conversation. I said, man, I forgive you. He said, nah, if you mean it, call him dad.
Right, right.
Me and God wrestled that night. I'm like, yo, man, I'm not calling him dad. I forgive him. He said, I know you. You're very prideful. Call home now, which my father never answers the phone. And I called home and I said, hey, Dad. He said, man, what you say? I said, Dad.
Surprised them.
Yeah, I'm like, yo, you surprised? I'm like, I'm going to leave a message. But God had it worked out where I called to my father. I said, man, I really appreciate you because you took care of someone else's responsibility. And I've been calling him that was 40 years old. I'm 61 now for 20 years because he passed away 2 years ago.
Sorry to hear that.
And bro, I want to say something. I called my mother the other day and I said, I want to apologize to you. She says, for what? I said, because I disrespected your home. It might seem simple to other people, but I used to go in her home and open the refrigerator and eat what I want without asking. Not respecting my father's home.
I did that as well.
You know what I'm saying? And I said, Mom, I want to apologize because I didn't know no better because I thought I was entitled, and I caused a fusion between dad's relationship and your relationship. And I was being very selfish. That same day we had the conversation, man, I went to the gravesite and I told my dad, I said, man, I'm sorry. Even though I know he couldn't hear me, but it was for me.
Right.
You know what I mean? I had to get that release. So
Release
that's
it,
a
right.
quick synopsis of my life and my story.
That's deep, man.
Yeah, man.
That's real
Yeah.
deep, man. I'll go into a little bit about me. Y'all know I'm the host, Kid Kniff. I'm originally from the Bronx, New York. I moved out to Rochester in about 2006. I was getting into gang banging, drugs, and running the streets and not doing the right thing with my life in the city. So I figured I'd come out here to Rochester. I had my cousin out here, my aunt out here. So I came out here to be with my family, a little slower pace to kind of get on my feet and, you know, explore life for what it is and not run in the streets and try to transition into the man and become a better person. So I've been out here now and I just been working, I got 2 daughters. One is 18 and one is 26. I just recently had a granddaughter. She's 3 months. So all these things, these life transitions is like not forcing me because I want to become a better man, but it's helping me become a better man. Like, so I've been trying to transition from being a gangbanger and being in the streets and dealing with traumas and getting shot at 14, being paralyzed and stuff like that. So I just been trying to transition from all of that and really take on this role as being a businessman, an entrepreneur, a man of God. You know, I definitely believe in God. I put him first before anything else in my life. So when I hear you talk about certain things in your story, it really hits home for me, man. Like, my dad didn't pass away, but it was like he passed away because he was never in my life. My whole life, he came around maybe 2 times when I was a kid, so I didn't really know my dad. But now he's here, he's around now, so I know sometimes he be asking me, do I forgive him, like, all the time? And I be like, nah, I forgive you, Pops. You ain't got to keep asking me that I love you. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad that when I was younger, I had resentment towards you. But now that I'm older, I got kids, I kind of understand a little better. So me and my dad is building a better relationship now. He get to be around my kids. So that's a wonderful thing. And that's the life journey I'm on right now, you know? Just trying to start one step at a time.
That's what we got to do because, believe it or not, when you talk about trauma begets trauma. And we talk about the Bible, it says be fruitful and multiply, right?
Yes.
That can be in the negative sense or the positive sense. Because trauma begets trauma. I can be with a woman, we both been traumatized and we come together because of trauma. And then we have babies who sees our trauma through our relationships.
So it's
you
creating more trauma.
It's creating more trauma. So now you're going generational trauma being passed on. I say that to say this. I didn't realize how much I was becoming like my dad. I mean, not the original dad.
Subconsciously.
But yeah, man, because my father, who just passed away 2 years ago, would pay the bills and take care of all the responsibilities, but he would never interact. And I found myself always, because he would always go in the room and just watch TV. And I said, man, you just like this dude. You in the house, but you're not in the house.
Right.
You're not in your kid's life and you're not giving them the attention that they need, right? You're going by the old adage of, of being a provider, but you're not providing for them psychologically and emotionally. You're not supporting their dreams, the other side. So I had to work. I had to really look at myself like, yo, bro, it's more to being a dad than just bringing home the bacon and the eggs. So now I have a 7-year-old, bro, and I'm very transparent. I had a talk with her 2 weeks ago, and I was playing with her. And I said, girl, you eat too much. Stop eating so much when you be big. The other day, last week, I gave her some food. I said, baby, you want some more? And she said to me, no, I do want some more, Dad, but I'm afraid if I eat more, I'm going to get big. A real man will take that opportunity and sit his child down. And this is where you're talking about being a comprehensive person, where you understand what's going on and say, baby, I'm really sorry. You can eat as much as you want. It's not about you being big or small, because now I'm trying to make you into who I want you to be, but be who you want to be, right? And I said, I'm so sorry. And I said, Daddy, will never say that again. So I'm learning how to take past mistakes and present mistakes, mistakes because it wasn't conscious of something I really wanted to do maliciously. And I'm learning how to be delicate.
In real time.
In real time, because as men, man, bro, we can talk all day, because as men, we don't believe in being emotional.
Right.
We only work with two crayons. That's either being a provider and being tough. But what about the other 64 crayons? That's in the
Right.
box.
Forgetting about those.
You know what I mean? So I can be a nurturer, I can be loving, I can be a lion, but I can also be a lamb at the same time, right? So I had to hug my baby, man, and I almost cried
Oh man.
because I was damaging her at 7. I'm like, yo, bro, don't do that. So now I have to change my words to be more, even though I was joking, learn how to play in a constructive way that it builds her but not tear her down. So,
Right. That's amazing, man.
yeah.
That's amazing. For you to even notice that, like you said, a real man should notice that. Like, you know what I mean? And that's a powerful thing as being a father. You notice when you do or say certain things. It don't have to necessarily be you yelling at your kid. It was just, are you hungry or don't eat because you get too big. And you probably have been big and growing wise, not in big and size wise.
right.
But, you know, kids, you know, they got their own in mind. And that's why you say you give them their own choice to be who they want to be and not kind of. I know I had a lot of that in my past traumas, like in my past youngest growing up. My mom, whatever she went through with her parents, kind of her bleeding that on me. And now that I find out because I'm trying to tap into like financial literacy and stuff like that, I see that I have trauma from past sayings with my mom, like, oh, money don't grow on trees, or money is that. She talks so like that about money. So my whole growing up, I thought to be scarce with money, you know? So it was kind of controlling me. So I had to learn how to break out of that and not do that to my kids, you know? So I had to be mindful of that. I want to ask a question though, like, how do you get to be like such a bright soul despite all the things you've been through?
Well, everyone, the common denominator with any human being is they want love, bro. You can never receive love in its totality if you're afraid to show it.
Okay.
And I used to sit in my cell. This is where you sit on the island called Patmos, which was Department of Corrections, where you have some time to really sit down and think about your life, man. I wanted love, right? But I equated love with women. That's that male stuff, you know. You got to have so many women to fill a void that can never be filled by a woman or anything for that matter.
Right.
But you have to be comfortable with yourself. And so when I started understanding that women, in order to receive love, bro, you got to be able to give it. And you got to not be afraid to give it. I don't care how many times you get hurt. I don't care how many times you get stepped on. It's not about them, it's about you being free. And so from that perspective, because I was married prior to going to prison and got a divorce in prison because of my behavior and also because I wouldn't let my first wife in. And this is a God's honest truth. And this is the reason that I used to think that way. I said, if my mother would hurt me, what would you do? So it stemmed from my mother traumatizing me. And I said, yo, and she said she loved me, bro. So if she gonna do this to me, what do you think I'm gonna give another broad a chance to do this? Nah, we're not gonna do that.
Right.
But I had to open myself up to say, you know what, I want love, so put it out there.
That's great, because I've been like, in my past, I've been like a ladies' man cheating on women, which I'm not proud of, but I'm being transparent and vulnerable. So now my new relationship that I'm in with my partner, I try to do new things for different results, you know, try to not be the person I was and holding back my love, being scared to give it out because I don't want to get hurt, you know what I'm saying? So now I'm putting my heart out there. I'm trying these new things because I'm trying to be a new person. And I always tell her, I can't keep doing the same thing and expecting different results, you know? So I have to start trying new things, stepping out of my boundary zones. Like even when you hit me and you asked for the address, like a little bit of my street stuff started to pour out of me. And I caught myself in that moment, like, this person is not that type of person. Why am I even looking at it if I'm not even that person anymore and I'm growing out of that? Like if God see me walking his walk, he's going to guide my steps. You know what I'm saying? And he's walking right beside me. So I had to realize, and I have a lot, like I tell my girlfriend, one day I want to go to therapy. You know what I'm saying? And sit down and talk. Or even like when I was asking you, like I want to get a mentor, somebody that have the knowledge, been through the things I've been through and have the experience and that can give me the insight. Because hearing you say some of the things right now is healing certain traumas in me right now.
Well, believe it or not, brother, I tell anyone, when I say open mic communications is not in it for a profit, but we're in it to make change. And that's what it's all about. Because people will manipulate you because of your emotions. They will manipulate you because of your dreams and ambitions, right? They hear you say, I want to be an entrepreneur. Okay, for $14.95, you can join my master's class. and I'm gonna show you how to get to the next level. Then when you give them the $1,400, the next level, we're gonna show you how to get clients. It's all a game, right? And so I don't have a problem with being mentors, because Harriet Tubman said this so profoundly. She says, I could have freed a lot more slaves if they knew they were slaves. So now we're saying, let's be conscious enough to realize that I'm a slavery to ignorance. I'm a slave to fear, right? And I can't allow these things to dictate where I go and what I do. I was just talking to a business partner this morning, and this is, in business, you got to take chances.
Yes.
And he says, Wayman, you're still living in the old times where you type and send stuff out one by one, and it takes a long time. I said, yeah, you're right. He says, you got to get with AI. He says, give me $4,500, and I promise you that you'll be making $30,000 to $40,000 a month. The guy has a proven track record.
Right.
Am I willing to invest in the business as well as invest in myself? And so what we're talking about right now is really investing in ourselves, right?
Okay, yes.
Let's take away from that old man who we used to be and become that new person who we know we can be. That takes action, right? Because everybody sits in their room at night. I should have talked to my wife a little bit better. I should have talked to the kids a little bit better. I should have done this a little bit better. But you're sitting there talking about what you should have done, but then when the next day comes, you're still doing the same thing. So again, we have been taught and conditioned to think this way because of Willie Lynch. When you talk about going from woman to woman, in slavery, they're like, listen, bro, the biggest man can have 4 or 5 different women and become a stud and a breeder. On the subconscious level, it's been transferred down.
Oh.
That's what defines us as a man. So my question to anybody or any men out there, can you define what a man is? And if you defined him and that's the end of his growth and development, you just put him in a box. See, a man or any human being should always be evolving.
Yes.
And that's just what it's all about. You have to evolve as a parent, as a son, as a husband, as a wife, whatever you may be, evolve.
Get better.
So this is what I come to because when I was in prison, man, I read so much, it was crazy. I was putting into the books, I was reading. Because, believe it or not, I was a straight up student in school.
Really?
I got kicked out of every school in New York State. And New York State kicked me out of school, said I couldn't go to school in New York State nowhere.
Oh, wow.
So now when you see me now, and then I had a bibliophobia because I thought black people couldn't read and we wasn't supposed to read. All we can do is just play football, play basketball, and box. and you see that in our community right now. That's all we think we can do. But it was an amazing guy. I can tell stories, guys. This guy by the name of Barack Obama. Barack Obama did something that no one in history has ever done. No one knew his name outside of Chicago. And he took this dream and said, I would like to become the president of the United States in the White House. This man and his naysayers, no, bro, you can't do it.
Yeah, that's a delusional.
I said, you ain't going to no White House, a black man. What you want to do, like, yes, sir, master? He says, no, I'm going to be the president. And that correlates to what we're talking about, change. People look at our past and say, we can't change, we can't do this, we can't do that. Yo, I can. And so when this man became the president of the United States, not only for 1 term, but 2 terms, he did something that other people said he could not do. So that's just like me and you. Bro, they told me I got 4 felonies, bro. They said, man, you can never be an entrepreneur. You can never do this. You can never do that. I got people calling me now, man, come on over. We want you to speak. We want you to tell your story to help our young people. But again, that we can't come to them with the Scared Straight program. Bro, I can't cuss you out and tell you bad, you stupid, you can't do this and you do that, because that's what they've been hearing their whole life, right?
Right.
The greatest weapon that we have, the greatest weapon that Martin Luther King had was love. That's the greatest weapon you can win with love all day, every day, because everybody wants it. That's the commonality. So, yeah, that's how I got to the place I am right now. And I have to also say that my wife now, I had to be open to her suggestions.
Yes.
And saying, okay, baby, because she used to tell me I should be hard. I didn't know I was hard. I thought I was still being soft. And she says, you got to be gentle when you talk. I said, I am. She says, no, be gentle. So I allowed her to coach me into the transformation of becoming a man and a husband and a father. And so just like, let's talk for a minute. Talking about the love bank. We have intimate conversations where we just sat down one day and just talked for 15 minutes. Hey, how was your day? What's going on with you? What you need help with? That intimate conversation from just doing it from one day turned into a conversation every day.
Yes.
But we had to condition ourselves to say, you know what, let's get back to when we start dating. Let's talk. Let's have a conversation. Bro, We walk around talking and laughing. Now, of course, we still have our issues, meaning things do arise.
Yes.
But here's a question that I would like to ask those that are watching. Is that situation that's so minor worth taking you off course, what you believe for your relationship?
No.
It ain't worth it. So why am I arguing with you?
Right.
Why am I not listening to you? See, because again, now we're talking about the layers of trauma. You're talking about emotional earthquake now.
Mm-hmm.
Because all you see is the anger, but what's up under that anger? What caused me to explode?
Right.
So now let me address these things and work on them. I'm actually seeing a psychologist right now.
Really?
Man, I got major anxiety, major PTSD, major depression.
It's
I talked to mine
crazy
that
that you
Thursday.
say that because you come off as such this like like so this is why I wanted to have you in here to hear these type of things, man.
Yeah.
It's important to hear that because you looked
Yeah.
looked at in a high eyesight of the community for what you're doing, the knowledge you know, the heart, the love you show. You know what I'm saying? That's amazing. Like just you being on here is showing mad love and talking and telling your story.
I don't mind, again, because everything that we've been through, what are we doing with it? It's not a curse.
Mm-hmm.
It's a gift, because even going to Bishop Kearney, I'll be going there next month. I'll let you know.
Okay.
So you can come, bro.
Yeah,
And they want me
please.
to come and speak about my journey and perseverance. Because, and brother, people don't even know that I was suicidal. See, I can relate because I've been through a lot.
Right.
But I overcame it because I sought help. I cannot sit here and say as a man that I'm ashamed to say that I deal with PTSD. I deal with mental health. I'm not ashamed of that.
Right.
A real man will
Me
say,
neither.
yo, man, I need help, bro.
Yeah.
Because I'm dealing with a lot of issues that has traumatized me. But not only that, I got to deal with walking in my own neighborhood.
In the world.
And fearing my life going through certain neighborhoods. We shouldn't be that way.
Yeah.
What's going on in society now is trying to put us in a box of prison in our own community. Where at a certain time I don't want to come outside. In certain areas I don't want to drive down. But then we say Black Lives Matter, right? If Black lives really matter the way we say that it does, why are we fighting and killing one another? But it comes from the trauma, not recognized as triggered by anger. We taking it out on the wrong people. Inside, right? So why don't I take that negative anger and the things that I'm dealing with, because being in poverty is traumatizing.
Yes.
You know, seeing roaches crawling out the cabinet, eating certain things, you know what I mean? Eating Roman noodle soups every day. But why don't I take that trauma or those things of being impoverished or what's happening in my life and use it as fuel?
Reverse it.
Reverse it and say, you know what? I'm not going to be that way. I'm not even thinking about what you're saying I am. I'm going to become who I know I can be.
Right.
You know what I mean? So again, go back to the question, who am I? That's the $1 million question. We all ask it, but again, am I who I am defined by circumstances? Because 99.9% of prison is negative. I had to fight to be different than that population.
That's hard.
Bro, you know what I'm saying? Everybody going to the...
That's a battle.
I had dudes come up to me, man, right? I had 90 days, told me to suck their cock. You know that's fighting words.
Yeah.
And I said, man,
not the Franks thing.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, bro, you ain't even worth it. I'm finna go home.
Trying to test you.
The same way out here. I got to fight every day for my life to stay, to stay positive.
Right.
To stay focused on the course and the goal that I want. Because we can say the temptation, there's many women out here that want men like such as ourselves, entrepreneurs, and that can speak real good and articulate and very smart and educated, and so we look like we got it going on.
All right.
That's what they're looking at, the facade, see? But they don't understand the heart and the content of who you are as a person, because they never get a chance to know you. They're looking at what you're riding in, they're looking at what you're wearing, they're looking at how you smell, they're looking at all this. Bro, you don't even know who I am.
Right.
I can be a killer. You won't even know it because you're so busy looking at the external.
All the other stuff.
You know, so I work on internal work every day, and I'm still evolving. But again, understanding the trauma, not using it as an excuse to stay stuck.
Okay.
No, we're not going to do that. We're going to build and try to be a better person than I was yesterday.
Right. Use it as fuel. That's amazing, man. I heard you say you read a lot of books.
Oh, man.
What are some of the books you
You know what?
Did you read Donald Goines before?
I never did. I never would read Donald Goines or those other books that were depicting blacks in a negative light.
Okay, that's amazing to hear.
I refuse to do that because, again, that stereotype, that's what caused me to be where I was at.
Right.
Because Billy D. Williams back in the day, he was a player. He was this. You want my arm to fall off. Lady Mahogany, whatever her name was, Diana Ross.
Right.
And then they had Colt 45 of him up there being cool, collected. But not only that, when I was growing up, Main Street on the corner of Madison going all the way down to Nick Tahoe, bro, at 7 years old, used to be a prostitution
Oh,
area.
wow.
So you got all these things that you're looking at 7. You're like, oh, that's eye candy. Because my
Right.
dad used to take me going to Nick Tahoe's. I say that to say this. That's why I wouldn't read those books.
Okay.
Because I was
That's
trying to
amazing.
evolve and to better myself and also say, you know what, Wayman, you got to look at, too, the misdiagnosis prior to. I was misdiagnosed by some people that I loved and that I looked up to. They were gods to me, which were my parents and my family. They say that my uncle told me, he said, you're not only stupid, but you're super stupid. Wow, bro. Then other family members say, you'll never be none. You're going to always be a bum. You just dumb. Bro, I became exactly what they said, right? So when I went to prison, I had to get another diagnosis. And that was self-diagnosis. I'm not who you say I am.
Right.
Let me change the narrative. And now they look at me now like, bro, we can't even think of you being who you used to be because I changed so much.
Can't recognize you.
But the change is not about them because, bro, like I said before, about the situation about a young lady that I had got pregnant. I'm very transparent. I don't care.
Yes.
I got the lady pregnant, and I had her have an abortion because I was afraid what my mother was going to say. Because they're religious.
Right.
And right now to this day, I'm 61, that was 21 years ago, I still deal with that. Because I joined the Navy because my mother told me to get out her house. My mother never told me she was proud of me. I joined the Navy because I wanted to make her proud of me, and I hated it. So who I was determined by someone else's accolades of who they think I should be, right?
Right.
I was doing all these things for other people's applause to the detriment of who I am. So now when I become a father, a husband, or a person, am I being known or remembered by being work performance?
Right.
So they
Right.
never get to know me. They know what I'm doing. So really, I'm not really being who I want to be because I'm trying to prove something to my kids, to my wife, to my family, to my community.
It's always that.
Bro, it's always about the applause. You still lost because you're not still understanding who you are. So I work on who I am every single day and define who I am. I am love. I am respect. I am sweet. I am kind. I do deal with some anger. Those just being real about the good and the bad.
Right.
You know
right.
what I mean? But
right.
I'm not doing it because I want other people to applaud me. And that's what the Bible says, your gift will make room for you, because if you be you and just be authentic in what you're doing, only God can open and close doors. And your gift, if it's love, it will open those doors.
That's amazing, man. That's amazing. I know I kind of threw you off track, but I was asking you about some of the books you read or whatever.
Man.
We want to hear some of the books you read to educate your mind and get you to the place where you at right now. Because I know reading does help a lot, man.
If I can remember any of the books, I read a lot of books pertaining to Martin Luther King.
Okay.
April 4th, 1968, I believe it was, or 1967. When he was assassinated. It goes back to the year prior to him being incarcerated. My favorite person that I mentor, that's a great mentor to me, is Tavis Smiley.
Oh, okay.
Very educated guy. I love the way he does podcasts. I love the way he knows information. So I read a lot of books about Tavis Smiley, Cornel West, Mike Dyson, stuff like that, because I want to inspire, but I want to be inspired. And I look at the thing where, and I say this to anyone, Martin Luther King had his dream, but Martin Luther King's dream does not have to be mine.
Right.
My dream is totally different than his.
Right.
His dream was for civil rights and for equality. My dream is to be the best version of myself, of my family, my community, and those that I'm around. That's my dream. My dream is not the American dream to have the big house with the white picket fence and to have a big, large bank account. Again, that means that I'm being molded and shaped into who they want me to be.
Right.
I went to the LPGA golf tournament 2 years ago, brother, up in New Jersey. Staying at a resort.
That sounds nice.
Man, it was nice, but it was an eye-opener. And you walk out there, you can be nice and talk to people all you want. But certain people in certain money brackets, they will not recognize you. And speaking to people, they won't speak back. I went and I did a video saying, I don't care if I'm driving a $70,000 or $200,000 Maserati. I'm still the same person if I'm driving a $20,000 car.
With it or without.
With it or without it. And I remember this movie about the 101 Dalmatians where this girl, she admired Village, the Crew, whatever her name is,
Yeah.
her magazine company. and how this lady admired her, and that lady walked right by her, didn't even recognize her. I told myself from this day forward, I'm gonna make them recognize me. And how I'm gonna do that is through education. And so I'm educating myself in such a way that you gotta give me respect.
Right.
When I walk through that room, I command respect. And this is what you do. You walk it with your head up and like, yo, I belong here. Despite how you might look at me. Me and my wife just went to the Eastman School, the Eastman Museum this past weekend.
I want to go there. How was it?
Oh, bro, it's nice, bro.
Really?
It's nice. And walking in there, people like this.
Staring at you.
Like they saying, you don't belong here. But I look back at them, I belong here.
Yes.
And so this is what we got to do. We got to stop saying that we don't belong in certain places, because I thought chess was a white man's game. Chess is every man's game. Golf is every man's game. But I allowed myself to put myself in a box because my community said that we can't do it and we shouldn't do that.
Yes.
Listen, bro.
Yes.
No, I'm kicking the doors in, bro.
Yes.
And so now they're calling me, wait a minute, can you come here? Yes, I can.
You're showing up now. That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing, man. I can relate to that, because growing up in the environment, I grew up around poverty, you know, drugs, gang banging, the normal stuff in the Bronx, New York, you know. So it's a fast-paced city. For those that's watching that don't know about the Bronx, New York, it's a real fast-paced city, and a lot is going on. So if you ain't got your head on your shoulders, you're going to get led into plenty different things. Unfortunately, I was led into gangs and led into selling drugs, and I only smoked weed. I never went any further than weed and a little bit of liquor and everything. But the whole reason behind, now that I look back at everything that I did, was nothing that I wanted to do myself. It was everything I was following my friends to do. So I didn't necessarily want to, if I didn't have 2 or 3 girlfriends, my friends would clown me and joke on me. So I was groomed into that way, thought I was a man by having different girlfriends. And that's not the truth, you know? So my whole life has just been led to believe things that wasn't the truth. So now as a man, where I'm at now at 44 years old, I have to unprogram all those ways and reprogram new ways, you know? So now I'll be working on my subconsciousness, you know, like with the affirmations and the I ams and talking to myself and letting myself know I am worthy, you know, because a lot of those traumas led me to believe that I wasn't nothing and I wasn't going to be nothing and I wasn't going to make it to even be 40. You know, in the neighborhood we come up in, you don't promise to make it to past 21, you know what I'm saying? So all of those things I had to unwire and rewire these new things and become this new person. And the more I get deeper into it, the more it's like exciting me and it's like bringing so much joy in me and it's pushing me so much. And God is the number one person in my life, the spare of it all. Without him, I wouldn't be able to do nothing. When I was 14 years old, running around in house parties, I got shot in my stomach. So I was paralyzed in a wheelchair for about 3 months. So I had to learn how to walk again and stuff like that. That's a huge trauma right there, all in within itself. Seeing my friends running around and I'm in a wheelchair and I can't do that. So I had to deal with that and get over that. And I used to regret it when I was younger, but now God led me to believe that without that happening, I can't be who I am today. So I definitely embrace it now. I don't regret nothing I've been through. I know it all happened for a reason to bring me to the place and the person I am now. And everything I do, all my businesses and everything, I want to be able to learn and create these businesses to help other people, you know? So you inspire me a lot, man. You say a lot of things that like, and how vulnerable and transparent you are. It takes a real man to do that. Where I come from is like, a real man is somebody who has 10 girlfriends, who sells drugs, who got the car. That's not the real man. He's hiding a lot of things. He's afraid to be transparent, you know?
He is. And when you think about the transparency, again, I don't like the word vulnerable.
Okay.
Because the word vulnerable means subject to harm.
Okay.
I'm not subject to harm when I'm open. I'm open.
Right, being honest.
You know what I mean? So we use that word vulnerable and throw it around like it's a piece of candy, but do we understand what the definition, and why do I feel like I'm subject to harm I'm really not. I should be in a safe place within myself.
Right. While I open.
While I open up and be myself. Now it's up to you to receive it or you can reject it. After I be who I am, it doesn't even matter to me what you think about me.
Right.
Because if I'm worried about what you say about me or think about me, then I'm not comfortable with who I am, right? Again, I'm doing work performance again. And it shouldn't be that way. So when we talk about let's talk about economics for a minute. You know, we used to being impoverished. The higher you go up in money brackets, the more difficulty you're going to have dealing with people because you don't know who to trust and who not to trust.
Right.
Because everyone has a hidden agenda. Okay, let me get what you got so I can manipulate what you got so I can worry about my bag.
Yep.
And take your bag and give you a false dream, a false hope, and make you think that I'm really working with you. I lost a lot of money in this game called self-development. But I took it as a learning curve because,
It's all worth it.
Because it showed me what not to be.
Right.
I refuse to play on people's emotions and tell them what they want to hear so that I can get in their pocket to take care of my family, because God told me he would supply my needs according to his riches and glory. So I don't need to deceive anybody, right?
Right.
I looked up this word in the dictionary, the old dictionary, talking about a politician. The word is cunning, deceitful, and a liar. That's the definition of the devil, right? So I had to educate myself, right? And so now I never forget, I went to parole board, and this lady at parole board says, Wayman, you're very incorrigible. This sounds like a positive word, but she didn't know I was in the dictionary. I said, I beg to differ. I am subject to reform. I am subject to change, because if I wasn't, I would cuss you out right now. And she looked at me like, wow, he know. Yeah, because you're trying to throw something over my head you thought I didn't know.
Right.
And so we got to be cognizant. I'll never forget this guy. He says, Wayman, learn the language. He said they can be cussing you out in their language and you'll be sitting there laughing, looking like a fool.
Not even knowing.
Not even knowing, because on the next level, it's a different type of game they're playing. And the language sounds so encouraging to build you up, but they cussing you out like a dog. And so what I'm telling everyone that's watching, forget about the Ebonics that we learn in our community. You can still hold on to that, because I still got it. You understand me. I still got it. But I'm learning the language. The higher I go in the tax bracket and the higher I go dealing with people, I have to learn how to manipulate or to move in those environments, right?
Right.
When I go speak, man, they used to tell me I have to wear a suit. Right now, bro, you're not paying me to wear what you want me to wear. You pay me for information. This is what I wear.
Right. Let me come as is.
As is. I can go in corporate America, deliver the same speech, the same presentation, but if you stuck on this, then you lost. Because then now you want me to dress the way you want me to dress, but I guarantee I can speak your language. And so once you get comfortable in that, because I never forget, Bill Cosby came here, Giuliani when he was the mayor, Terry Bradshaw,
Rudy.
Colin Powell came at the War Memorial. And Bill Cosby came in with a sweatshirt and sweatpants, Temple University, and had on Crocs, but he had on those shoes with your toes out.
Right.
He said, listen,
That's funny.
I'm just going to be me.
Yeah.
And that showed me this is a man comfortable in who he is. He's not worried about who's watching. You came to see me. You want me to come.
Not what I got on.
Not what I got on. So again, we put on a lot of things to be pretentious for others. Let's talk about that again. Who are you? We were talking briefly before. When we walk in the community, we got to ice grill everybody, look them up and down, and try to look like we're hard and tough. That's not who you are. Your community made you that way because you thought that was a safe mechanism or a defense mechanism to keep you from being bullied.
Right.
But that's not who you really are.
Oh, man. You was talking, man.
When you were talking about being a womanizer, the community taught you that because that gave you value as a man. Again, I'm doing work performance to try to fit in with you, but at the own detriment of our own black women. But then if she was to do it, then you want to get mad and beat her up. But then if you got 4 or 5 different women, guess how many lies you got to tell just to keep the 4 or 5?
Right.
Come on, man. So listen,
too
man.
much.
It's too much work, bro.
Yeah,
so why not just be who
much.
you are and just love, man? If you want, if you don't know something, just ask. A friend of mine gave me a suggestion the other day. His name is Lester Young. He's a phenomenal public speaker. I met him on LinkedIn, as a matter of fact. And he says, Wayman, I'm going to tell you something, man. He says, whatever you do, be the best at what you do. Be the best at your craft, because he says, which sets you apart? I said, I'm willing to go above and beyond what everyone else is willing to do. How many times have you took some dozen donuts to a school and just say, just because?
Right.
That's going above and beyond. So next time something comes up, they remember you. Oh yeah, Open Mic Communication did this, right? Damon West is a phenomenal other speaker. This guy's phenomenal. This guy was sentenced to life in prison. White guy, multi-millionaire, bro.
Wow.
And so I told you a gift will make room for you. I met him on LinkedIn.
Okay.
I DM'd him, and he DM'd me back. I said, man, give me a call. He gave me a call. It's a millionaire. You check him out. Damon West on he's even on Facebook.
Okay.
And he said, I said, man, he gave me a call. We talked on the phone. I said, man, I'm trying to get in the game big time like you, bro. He was sentenced to life. He don't get off parole until 2073.
Damn. Woo.
Now this brother's still on parole. Got a license, but they let him out early. And he's going around the country tearing them up, bro.
Ooh.
But what happened was, I never lived in fear of afraid to talk to anybody, because I told James Norman this years ago when I used to work for ABC. He was the CEO at that time, a $25 million corporation a year, not for profit. And we sitting in the office, and he says to me, he got his legs crossed, got his Rolex on, big old black dude, man. I'm sitting in his office now. At that time, I was an intern. And he says, why are you in here? And I told him point blank, I said, man, you might be big, you might be black. I said, you might be wearing a Rolex, but the only difference between me and you is that I'm on the other side of the table. You put your pants on just like I put mine on. I said, you're going to become my mentor before this meeting over with. That's what I told the CEO. He said, man, why you say that? I said, because God gave me favor. By the time I looked
How
at
about
me,
that?
he was my mentor, because you got to be able to walk outside of your box and not to be afraid of what you can offer and what you're willing to learn.
Right.
You can never learn and never grow. If you're the smartest person in the room, then you need to get out the room. Always be in there where someone can elevate you.
Right.
So that they can teach you this, that, and the third. I just text Damon this afternoon, like, yo, man, I'm just checking to see how you doing. I said, can you give me 2 referrals for Rochester? Man, he gave me the Veterans Outreach Center. He gave me Youth Door for possible contracts. Because I asked him, like, yo, man,
Right.
and this is what you got to do. If you want help, just ask for it. A closed mouth don't get fed.
Ooh.
And so again, like you said, man, we can never be men like we ought to be if we walk behind this cliche or old adage of saying that men don't ask for help and men don't cry.
Right.
Bro,
That's a lie.
that was from the Willie Lynch.
Oh,
They used to
man.
beat them slaves so bad and told them to shut up in front of their family. They used to castrate them in front of their family, cut their balls off and everything in front of their family, because they were teaching the women, we want you to fear us, and teach your children to fear us. But I'm telling you to be quiet. No matter what I do to you, black man, you be quiet. And that's been passed down through the subconscious level, even in our families now, that we tell our own children to stop crying. Man, I did this to my daughter, the one I got right now.
Right.
She was 3 years old, man. And I told her, stop crying, you don't cry. And my baby bumped her mouth on the edge of the drawer. I'll never forget this.
Man.
And she didn't cry.
Man.
I said, bro, you
She want to
teach her.
live up to what Daddy said.
And so guess what happens? Now she get older. If I wasn't able to change that, she would get. If she was to get in an abusive relationship, she wouldn't tell
They
nobody.
gonna accept it.
See, let them children cry, because that's their way of expression. So when they don't talk to you when they get older, you got the nerve to say they don't talk to you. Man, you told me don't cry.
Right.
You beat me half to death and told me to shut up.
Right. Wow.
come on.
That's crazy.
So now let them have an expression. Let them have their emotions. Okay, baby, it's okay.
Yeah, go through that.
Go through that, because slavery has conditioned us in such a way, but we don't never want to say it. We don't cry. No, the master taught you don't cry.
That's crazy.
On
And
the
we tell our
subconscious.
kids that.
Yeah, shut up. You're like, what? You just beat me, man.
Right. Yeah, I'm not supposed to shut up.
You don't want me to say nothing that hurt. You beat me with a belt or whatever you beat me with.
That's crazy.
Come
man.
on. So brothers and sisters, those that are watching, get away from that narrative.
Yeah.
If you want your children to be better, love them in such a way that you're there with them. It's not about materialistic things, because you're trying to give them something that you thought that you didn't have.
Uh-huh.
But what the most important thing that they need is our love and our nurturing and our believing in their dreams. My daughter just told me she wants to be a soccer player. I know that's going to change. Because, baby, you can be the best soccer player in the world.
Right.
So guess what she's going to be doing this year? Playing soccer.
That's awesome, man.
This is what we do. We build up their hope
Right.
and keep encouraging them and not tearing them down. If your son want to play football, let him play football. But that's still subject to change as he get older.
Might not want to do that.
He might not want to do it. But you encourage him, and then sit down like my daughter and I, we sit down, man, we read books together. I let her see me reading because she's going to mirror what I'm doing.
Absolutely.
Bro, man.
Absolutely. Gotta lead by example.
You gotta lead by example. You ain't even got to
Yeah.
say go read. They know they're gonna, hey dad, come on, I want to read with you. Okay, let's go.
Yep. That's awesome. Get them to develop a pattern.
A pattern, yeah.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. I'm trying to get my kids to invest in stocks and stuff like that, you know, set up little things like that. I'm trying, of course, I'm doing it myself first, you know. I want to show them, you know what I mean? Not just tell them, but I'm definitely trying to get them into investing now, you know, small every week, every month. 20 years from now, that's a nice amount of change they can have for themselves, you know what I mean? And even if they don't do it, I'm setting it up now so that way once my time comes, that'll be there for them, you know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much where I'm at, like, is with my kids. Is the more I learn, the more I can teach them. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to better myself, like you said, every day, just pouring into myself, whether it's journaling or, you know, just listening to the right thing, reading the right things, not letting social media dictate my day, you know, being more intentional about certain things, you know?
Well,
So,
I listen to that, and sometimes the best example that we can give is find a program that deals with entrepreneurship for kids their age, so that they can see other kids doing that, right? And how much fun these kids are having. They got a group called the Talented 10th in Rochester right now. Rita Carroll has a phenomenal thing that they take kids to Africa and so forth, and they go to a lot of events in the city. And they can emulate that because now, okay, we see other kids just like us, bro. We can relate because they're talking the same language and stuff that I believe in, but I'm afraid to talk about in my community, bro. We need to get into some stocks. We need to get into some annuities. Bro, if you can ever get $10,000 or $20,000 together, you would go to not Jackson Hill, but one of the agency tax places and invest in electricity. You spend $20,000, they will write you a check every year for $1,500. Just for $20,000 investment. After a certain amount of time, your investment makes an investment. The more you put in, the more you get back.
all right.
See, because you need lights. But see, we think, not us, when I say we, just as a collective, we think that investments is in real estate, is in this, is in that. But white America is thinking about the essentials. You understand? Because this, you're going to always need this.
Right.
So you take $20,000, $12,000 and invest it in that, you always got residual income coming back in, right? And so when I say learn the language, you got to be around those people that speak in that language, right? As you evolve, people not going to want to be around you no more.
It's crazy.
Because they're going to say you're changing. And I tell them, yeah, I am changing. I'm not changing to say that I'm better. I'm not better than you.
Right.
We're equal. We're human beings. But I'm changing in a way that I'm trying to make security for my family and leave a legacy for my family. My daughter, I have a podcast called the Level Up Podcast, and this is how they emulate you, bro. My daughter used to sit outside in the front yard. People used to walk by. She said, "Hi, my name is London Araya Joy Daniels. Welcome to the Level Up Podcast."
Oh, that's dope.
Because she sees that's what her father does.
Right,
and
right.
so, like you said, let them learn by my example, but let them see me having fun doing it.
Yeah.
And so that's what we do because, again, we can do dictatorship. Do as I say, not as I do.
Right.
You better do this. No, bro, you're using bullying tactics.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
That's crazy.
Give me the freedom and the choice to say this is what I want to do. You know what I mean? So when we're talking about being a comprehensive person or a comprehensive man, we got to be cognizant and be open to suggestions and growth and development. So
Absolutely.
open mind communications is about personal development that leads to leadership, and it leads to leadership within yourself.
Okay.
And it's not really talking about being a leader, becoming a multimillionaire, but I promise you, if you're doing everything that you're supposed to be doing, your income will increase.
Yes.
Because we have a plan for you to be successful. Why work on a job that you're not happy doing? But pursue your dream. I quit a job working at Rise Up Rochester last year.
Okay.
I said to myself, why make them money? I can make myself money of doing the same thing.
Right.
Motivation.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So
that makes sense, man.
Come on, man. Why pick your cotton? I can grow my own cotton and pick my own cotton.
Right, man. And that's the thing, man. It's going into business for ourselves, man, and starting our own legacies and creating our own lanes and teaching our kids the right way, you know, and bringing them up the right way. How is that working with kids? I see you be going out to the school, and that's got to be awesome because they so like honest, they so genuine, they so fun, like cheerful, like.
You know, it's a beautiful thing because I just left school number 16. I created this character called Little Lester.
Okay.
And I created him by me and my daughter just interacting. And I went in school number 16 2 weeks ago, or maybe 3 weeks ago, and I brung Little Lester in. And I posed a question to the little kids. It was second to third grade or fourth grade, second to fourth or whatever.
Okay.
And I said, how many people believe? And this one kid said, I don't believe. I said, don't worry, by the time I get done with this presentation, you're going to believe.
Right.
And if you ever notice in that clip, he was the only one. A lot of kids came up and were telling me what they want to do when they grow up. But he volunteered to come up, and he's the only one I got in that clip. And I said, what do you want to do when you grow up? He says, I want to be a bailiff. I want to work for the court system. I said, man, that's awesome. That's so beautiful. I said, I noticed you came up here, again in a little Lester voice, of course. I noticed that you came up here and you wanted to tell everybody. I said, do you believe now? He said, yes, I believe. And in closing, I told the people, I said, never give up on people because they start out one way, but if you're doing the right thing, they will believe. And that was the crux or the gist of my message is that you want the kids to believe, but you got to do it in an articulate way that they can comprehend.
Right.
I can't go in there with no second and third graders talking the way I'm talking right now. They'd be like, yo, bro, what is he saying?
Understand none of it, right.
So when you go in there like, hello, my name is Lester. How you doing? And then you say, wait, what's your name? What you want to do? And then I had on, you saw the wig.
Yeah, I seen it. I seen it.
To the character. They didn't want me to leave. So you have to relate to the
room. They was excited,
Oh,
man.
bro, they was excited, bro. And you have to relate to the audience that you're going to go to. Now, when I go to McQuaid, that's an older type group.
Okay.
Tell them like, yo, let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about my story. Let's talk about the transition. Let's talk about the transformation. How did I get to the place where I said, you know what, I can do this now, right? Because when I never forget this guy, his name was Nice. He was a God body. I was in prison with him. He was doing speeches in jail. I went to his office, like, yo, man, I want to do what you do. He said, for real? I said, yeah, man, I want to be a motivational speaker. He said, man, write me a presentation. I said, what? I said, man, I don't know how to write no presentation. He said, get out of my office. I said, what? I said, black man, I'm asking you for help. And he says, you can never become a motivational speaker using the word I can't.
Oh.
So I put forth what I could. He says, at least you're trying. Now you can become a motivational speaker.
That's awesome, man.
So if we keep using this word I can't, we will never be successful.
Right.
I can do anything my mind says I can do within reason. You know what I mean? Because I understand with 4 felonies, it takes me only so far, but it doesn't stop. It doesn't keep me impoverished.
Don't.
I would be
not with God at your back, man, at your side.
Man. So this is what we got to do. Take our transition from our life history and use it, right?
Right.
And use it for the good and put it in such a way because they need what we have, the information.
Yeah.
We are so smart, we're so articulate because we had to be creative in selling drugs, I had to be creative hiding, running from the police with dope.
Lying to girls.
Lying to girls, and I had to be creative with trying to figure out how I'm going to eat, how I can figure out how to get my dope, get my bag, and do this and do that. So creativity is already there. But then again, if he said I'm in his image and after his likeness and he's the creator, why not tap into the creative side that he has already put into?
Right, it's there.
It's already there. And then I did a presentation and said I had a gift. I had a gift while I was in prison. I had a gift while I was on dope, but I never knew I had a gift.
Right.
Until I took the time to sit down and really look at myself and say, yo, bro, you got a gift. So no matter which situation you might be in, walk in your gift and turn that light on, man. Because
it's in you.
Come on, it's in there already. It's already there.
Right.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's important you said that, man, because I'm getting into myself in that way too, and I'm starting to really notice certain things about myself that I didn't notice before, and it's really like striking me in a great way because it's the more I learn about myself that I'm a great man and I'm not this drug dealer gangbanger guy. The more it makes me want to dive deeper into it. You know, the more I want to find out more information. I'm trying to like fill my brain with as much knowledge as I could. I'm not a big reader, but I'm trying to get into reading. Like I'm more of a listen to podcast type person, or audio book or something like that. But I just recently purchased a book by Napoleon Hill. It's called Think or Grow Rich. Think and Grow Rich.
Right.
So that's my first book that I'm really dedicated, that I get up and read like at least a chapter or two a day, you know.
Man, you know, I read so much I get tired of reading.
That's an awesome gift, man.
It is. I read because, again, information is transformational.
Yes.
But if you're reading the right stuff, you can be transformed either for the good or for the bad, right?
Yep.
If I'm reading negative stuff, of course, on the conscious level, the subconscious level, my thinking is going to be that way because this is what I'm eating every day. Even watching TV, I have to be careful what I watch on television because, again, I'm being fed someone else's narrative.
Yep.
And I'm not being excuse me, I'm not being who I need to be because I'm being influenced by outside influences. Because here's something, even in a relationship, I want you to name me one time you went to a restaurant and you saw a table for one. You never will. Because society is trying to push you that you need to be in a relationship in order to be whole. Subliminal messages. I don't need to be in a relationship for you to deem me to be whole. I'm whole without a relationship.
Right.
So when I go into a restaurant, the subliminal messages, I kick back. Nah, bro. I was talking to my wife this morning about Valentine's Day. I said, you know how much money they made on Valentine's Day? $45 million or maybe $95 million just for Valentine's Day?
Right.
For just a day for them to tell you, I love you?
Crazy, man.
I said, well, let me ask you a question. I said, because if I'm going by work performance again, when you don't get flowers, does that make you feel less than a woman? I said, because
they get upset.
They get upset. So you put my worth and my value on $20 flowers.
Ooh.
But you don't understand paying car note, car insurance, paying house
all year round.
All year round. So you're going to get upset about $20 that you let somebody tell you that I don't love you because I didn't buy you some roses.
Right. On this one day.
Come on, bro. We've been bamboozled. And these women get upset about this. And then here's another thing. Ask a woman, why does she want such a big diamond when you get married?
Spend all that money.
All that money because she wants to impress her friends. And she puts your value of love on how much money you spend on her for a diamond.
Right. Why I got to spend all this money to prove I love you?
Because she just defined herself. She's defining or measuring your relationship based upon outside pressure. Girl, that man must don't love you. You got to that small diamond, I can't even see it. Is it really about the diamond?
Right.
Or is it about that man being in love with me, making a commitment for life, forsaking all others?
And the people saying that probably not even married.
Not even married. And they marriage all tore up. And then they in debt. I'm gonna get you a man.
Yeah, that's crazy. Valentine's Day. Yeah, I was talking to my girlfriend about that. It's crazy you bring that up, man, because I was telling her, like, I'm not going to go all out the way to, like, on this one day when I do it every day for you. And she was like, nah, babe, I understand. I get it. Even though I still brought her, like, a gift, but it was something she wanted a long time ago. It wasn't, like, flowers or candy or nothing like that. I sent her to get her feet done and stuff like normal stuff. It wasn't nothing spectacular for this one day.
One day, bro. Here's something like my wife says to me, she says, Wayman, I want to go back to school and get my bachelor's degree.
That's awesome.
She says, I want to know how you feel about that. Will you support me? I said, baby, go get your degree. So, bro, you know what I do? I cook, I clean, I wash clothes. I make sure that I take the pressure off of her.
Right.
As a wife, as a mother. And showing her that I support you. And when she's sitting there studying, I would go up to her and give her a hug and give her a kiss. I say, you okay? I said, I got you. See, that's what love is, bro.
Yeah.
It's not saying, okay, she's sitting around here, she ain't doing nothing. She going to school and knowing all these bills got to get paid. Bro. Nah,
that mentality,
come on, man. We support each other. My job is to support you. And then in the end, you're going to support me because you support me with my dream, which turns out to be our dream.
Right.
Bro. And see, this is where we get in problems at because we're looking at like, yo, bro, you married that woman. You with that woman. You have a dream. You want her to support your dream. But you can't support her going to school to get a degree?
Yeah.
For betterment, to be a psychologist?
It don't work that way.
Come on, bro. No, go get that degree.
That's selfish, man. That's crazy,
Yeah.
man.
You know
That's an
what I mean?
awesome thing. She want to get her bachelor's.
Yeah,
Like,
man. And then we had to, this is where you have those intimate conversations. You have these conversations about, okay, let's have this discussion. Let's have those uncomfortable conversations, bro.
yes.
Okay. Say, for instance, you and your girlfriend who, why were you cheating with other women? Not saying in this relationship, but in other
Right.
relationships. And why do you want to change to be a better person now? What is different about me now, you now, and you want to do this for our relationship? And then you give her a chance to say her say and how she feels. Okay, all right, babe, I like. It's going to be uncomfortable,
Right. Right.
bro. When me and my wife
Right.
had our first intimate
But after
conversation,
that,
ooh, boy, it was a difficult conversation. But after that,
right.
I know I can trust her with my heart.
Right. It builds.
It builds, and so, right, we just had like I said, we had a disagreement the other day. And I said, is this worth walking around the house being mad about something so trivial? You mad at her for what?
Right. For nothing.
For nothing. Because you thought she raised her voice at you and she didn't?
Right.
And you
Right.
pout like a big old boy?
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want to speak to her because you misinterpret what she said?
Mm-hmm.
So after the incident happened, we had a discussion. And she said, no, baby, I didn't mean it that way.
Mm-hmm.
I said, but I thank you for giving me the freedom and the liberty to come to you.
Right.
And that misinterpretation could have grew up to something very big.
Right.
And
Right.
so,
That's amazing, man.
It is, bro. Well, you can be open enough to say, okay, I can come to you when something's bothered me, and then it's a no judgment zone.
Right.
You just express
Safe place.
A safe place, bro.
Yeah.
Because you got to fight out here every day.
Right. You don't want to do that in your
Come
home.
home, man. I want to come home to a contentious woman.
Right.
So, yeah. But,
It's crazy you say that, man, because I be talking to my girlfriend about a lot of that stuff too as well. And I be telling her a lot of, right now, I'm kind of in this tunnel vision thing with working on myself.
Yeah,
And I be
yeah.
telling her, like, sometime I know when we get into arguments over little things, it be me misunderstanding you because I'm so used to understanding things from a certain lens.
right.
So now I had to learn how to understand you the right way.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? And
yeah.
like you said, I'm glad she give me the grace, the safe space, the peace to give me that time to come back to be able to talk to her about it. You know what I'm saying? So that's a wonderful thing to have somebody there with you, going through that with you, that you can have those conversations with. You know what I mean?
You know, I think about the lens on your phone or a camera. You have to change it every now and then to get a better focus.
Oh.
And you just said you had to look at it through a different lens sometimes because the lens you were using were not serving the purpose of taking the picture that you wanted to take, right?
Oh, that's nice.
And so we always got to be able to evolve. And this is where you just be open, man. Say, listen, I want to be better, man. How can I be better? We know how to be better because it's in all of us. When we be sitting by ourselves, bro, talking to ourselves, man, you look at what you've seen in the community growing up, you look at your family dynamics and you saw that love when we didn't have anything, right?
Right.
One thing I can say about my mother never let me see poverty, even though we were in poverty.
That's awesome.
She protected me from it. She made sure we had meals every single day. She made sure that she loved us in such a way that we never saw poverty. We never felt it. And I'm like, I did a podcast with a friend of mine a while back.
Okay.
And he says, Wayman, let's go back to your childhood. He says, let's go back to your happy moments. And I said to him, man, to be honest with you, I never had happy moments. I was never happy as a child. I masked happiness by doing certain things, but I never understood what happiness really was because I was dealing with the trauma of not having a dad.
Oh.
So I had happy moments, but I was never happy in totality or in general. Because what you're looking at is a person who put up a mask. I was a class clown. I used to fight. I was bullied. I didn't win every fight, of course.
Sound like me, man.
Going to Madison's drunk on the football field, just doing all this stupid stuff. Those things I thought were being happy, but that was just another mask to cover up the pain, bro.
Not having a dad.
Not having a dad. And I tell anybody, man, the importance of the father is the most important job we can ever have, but sometimes we take it for granted. I'm like, yo, my daughter came in the house today. Bro, I get that girl a hug every day.
Right.
I said, come here. She said, what, Dad, you want a hug? I said, yeah, I'm going to give you a hug, but I said, it's not for you, it's for me. Bro, my daughter came in the room a while back ago and I was in my depression. I was just in the room. And she don't never come in the room. at this particular moment. And she came in and gave me a hug and said, Daddy, I love you. The power of love. And I said, girl, you just made my day. Because I was in the funk, bro.
Going through it. Man.
Man, even as a person who's always talking about inspiring others, I even have to inspire myself. Because again, it can get so overwhelming sometimes when you're dealing with depression, dealing with anxiety, dealing with PTSD, and you look at all these things and you be like, yo, bro, am I ever gonna snap out of this? You gotta snap out of it.
Right.
I can't, this ain't my life.
Right.
It's not who I am. It's a part of me, but it's not who I am. Bro, listen, I talk to my therapist every other Thursday. Excuse me. I take my medication. Bro, you know what I'm doing now? I just started Tai Chi last Monday.
Oh, okay. Okay. How you like that?
Well, I like that.
Okay.
Because it's teaching you
something different.
It's something different, but it's teaching you about concentration, and it's so fluid. It's like, bro, it's the best thing that I can do for me.
Right.
But I had to be open to suggestions.
Right, to even get that far into it, to discover that.
Man,
That's amazing,
listen,
man.
Bro, sometimes I looked at, I know I'm talking a lot, I'm sorry.
Nah, this is what this platform is for, man.
This guy was just on the news 2 days ago. A young kid, stroller, fell into, I believe it was the river up in New York City.
Oh.
And he couldn't swim.
Oh.
But the child was drowning.
Whew.
Now, he couldn't swim. He dove in the water or jumped in the water to rescue that child. And he got out, and come to find out he couldn't swim. They said, why did you do it? He said, because I was trying to save a life even though I didn't know how to swim. In other words, what I learned from that, sometimes we might not be able to do something, but are we willing to jump in?
Right.
Come on, bro.
Right.
And when you jump in, you come to find out that you can do it.
Right. You can save the person.
Come on, man.
Right?
Even
That's
save
amazing,
yourself, bro.
Man.
Listen,
Yeah.
entrepreneurship, be a multimillionaire, make 6 figures, 7 figures. It's possible.
Right.
But where's your mindset, and are you working in your gift to get there? I'll tell everyone has a plan, everyone has information. But the key component that they're missing is execution.
Ooh.
Everybody got information, everybody got a plan, but where's your execution, bro?
Right.
Bro, I can never be a great father, a great husband, a great anything unless I'm putting execution in it, reading books, changing my behavior, changing my thinking. I did a presentation talking about think about what you think about and think about why you think the way that you think and think about how you can change your thinking. In that thinking alone, talking about thinking, that means I got to work on my mind.
Right.
And all
That's
that,
the first part of
bro.
it. You don't do nothing else
If
with
you
all
don't
this
do
thinking.
nothing else, bro.
You got to work on that mindset.
Work on that mind, because the mind controls your actions, and your mind controls your behavior. Your mind controls everything that you do. And if you can get and master that to a degree, you're on your way. And that's what I do. I read because it helps me, it enlightens me. I do a lot of research. I get the best information that I know how to get through the internet, through books, and stuff like that. I read a lot of books dealing with T.D. Jakes' emotions or he-motions and stuff like that.
I like T.D. Jakes too.
Yeah, man. And you got to check his podcast out. He does.
I didn't even know he had one.
Yeah, I forget the name of it. He got one where he's talking to Cam Newton.
Oh.
He talking to Cam Newton. He talking to Tyrese.
Oh.
Those are the two that you got.
I'm going to look those up on YouTube tonight.
Yeah,
man.
Because he's touching them, because they come to find out that Cam Newton, he's afraid to get married, but he wants to get married.
Right.
And it's an oxymoron, because he wants to get married, but he's afraid. But he has 3 people in his family that's successful. His father, his 2 brothers are very successful.
Oh.
But what happens is, by him making so much money, and he's seeing so many people getting prenups. So he's afraid to get married because he doesn't want to give up what he has.
Right.
But he wants to get married. So now you're talking to people. So now I understand why a lot of people in Hollywood are not getting married. It's a reason, because they don't want to have to deal with me giving up everything that I work for. And do you really love me for me?
Right. Is it genuine?
Is it genuine, or are you in love with what I have?
Right.
Come on, bro.
Yeah, that's hard.
That's hard, man. So I don't want your problem. I want my wife to love me now while I'm poor, so when I get rich, I already know that it's authentic.
Right. Yep. You gotta be with me from the mud, girl. Before all the money comes.
Let's get dirty together, man. Because once I get to the top and you come like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
But,
that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
To be with somebody for material things. Like you said, you would never get to really know the person. You just know what they got and what you excited about. You're not excited about the things they like, the things they enjoy. You know what I mean? Their hobbies. favorite colors and stuff like that. Like,
That's the truth.
I never knew that about girls
Yeah,
before in the
yeah.
past. Now I'm starting to learn these things about my girlfriend. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I know, like, it's definitely needed, you know
Yeah.
what I mean, to change that mindset
Yeah.
to grow. You know what I mean? It starts in the mind.
Yeah.
And your mind definitely gives off frequencies, and
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
it helps you turn your belief, you know what I
Mhm.
mean, your core values into reality. You know
That's
what I mean?
true.
So that's amazing. Have you ever heard about a lady named Cheyenne Bryant? She's
She
like a
sounds familiar.
motivational speaker that's been on the internet lately, like going on viral
I think my wife
for a
might.
lot of her.
I have because she was on the show with Shannon Sharp.
Yeah, she was on Shannon Sharp
Yeah.
show.
I know who you're
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What do
yeah.
you think about her? I don't know if you ever listened to her.
I listened to her.
I listened to her a couple times, and
Yeah.
she be talking some powerful stuff, but it be seeming
Yeah.
a little bit slight bias, a
It's-
little bit.
I listen to her to a degree, and I
Yeah.
get the same vibe that she's biased.
hmm
And to me, she comes across as being arrogant.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, you know, and
That speaks a lot.
yeah, it speaks a lot. And if you come off arrogant, and I'm not saying that she's not genuine, but that's the energy that she gives off. So I listened to
Yeah.
her one time for about 5 minutes
Okay.
because I move off of energy and frequency as well.
Right, right.
And I said, no, she's not for me. Now, she might be for someone else, fine, but no, she's not someone that I would listen to.
Right, right. Each
Because
his
again,
own.
yeah, you know what I mean? What you eat don't mean I got to eat it. You know what I mean?
Right.
But
yeah.
people that I do listen to Tavis Smiley. I love Michael Dyson, and I also go back and listen to Dick Gregory.
Oh, okay.
Man of phenomenal wisdom, because when you think about philosophy and you break it down, it's talking about phileo, which means love. It's the love of wisdom when you break down philosophy.
Oh, okay.
And so I love wisdom. And this man talks from a wisdom perspective, but also I listen to Louis Farrakhan, some of the stuff that he says, and people like that, Tavis Smiley, Michael Dyson, sometimes Cornel West, because Cornel West sometimes can talk too fast and be talking about the oligarchs and all this other stuff. I'm like, okay. But I listen to various podcasts
Okay.
to just get information. I also look at CNN News, again, to listen to information and certain things and learn from their behavior, how to conduct myself on an interview.
Yes.
How to even conduct an interview. Always open to learn a different way, because they have made it. It's okay to be a copycat as long as you're copying the right cat, right?
Yes.
So
absolutely.
it's okay. And so I do this on a daily basis. I was sitting and listening to a podcast and listen to YouTube, man, sitting at home. My wife be like, what you doing? I said, I'm doing research.
Right.
Because I need to know.
Tapping in.
I got to tap in, bro. And then I put up at least 5 or 6 posts a week.
Right.
But you know what? Why I do it too? I also do it to invoke change, but I also need that one person to see it. Because that one person that sees it can change the trajectory of my life forever.
Right.
And say, we're going to get him in on this big platform.
Mm-hmm.
And that big platform can change my life in such a way that I can start making a difference in different levels now.
Yes.
Where the name is getting out there, the brand. I tell a person right now, my brand is not Level Up. It's not Open Mic Communication. My brand is me. I take me wherever I go, bro. So that way when people, I went to Odyssey School a couple weeks ago. I'm talking to this lady, man. And this lady says, what do you do?
Mm-hmm.
I told her. I gave her my car. She gave me a call. Yeah. Because I was carrying myself in such a way that what I was saying to her was palatable to her brain.
Mm-hmm.
I made that one want to eat some more information. So I said, here's my business card.
Yeah.
And so when you go out here, you're talking to people, you never know. You could be talking to a multi-millionaire, but you're looking at how they're looking.
Mm-hmm.
Bruh, that's you didn't even know that.
Yeah.
And they can help you go to the next level, but you just cuss them out.
Based off of how they look.
Yeah, bro. So I know we got to go. I want to say that for those that have a job and that's working. I'm retired. I'm doing my own thing now.
That's awesome.
And when you go to work, never complain about your job. Because that job is a gift from God.
Right.
And so when you go to the job complaining about the job, you're really complaining to what God has given you.
Mm-hmm.
And he's saying, I can't give you more because you're complaining about what I just gave you.
Right. Can't be grateful over the
Come
little.
on, bro. I can't give you more because you acting like this. I can't stand my job. Well, why did you apply for it?
Right.
It's counterproductive.
And if you don't like it that bad, leave.
Leave, but it's a learned behavior because everybody's doing it.
Right. Ooh.
Everybody's doing it. So now I'm becoming what you want me to become again, which is my environment.
Ooh. Wow.
Bro, come on. Who are you?
I gotta stop doing that, man. You just taught me saying this whole podcast, this whole time you been here, you been dropping nothing but Jews on me, man.
Who are
And
you,
that's one of
man?
the main reasons like I said, man, the first time I
Yeah.
heard you speak, man, was at Alexa's, the One
Yeah.
Love, One Way Therapeutic Men Kickback meeting. And ever since that day, man, like I can't even remember what you said, but it was so powerful and it stuck with me.
Yeah.
And it made me like reach out and find you know what I'm saying, on social media, follow you. And the more I followed you and the more I hear you talk, it's just like, wow, he is the person from that day that it's not like, oh, he was just that way that day. You know what I mean? Like he's really, this is who he is. And that inspires me so much to see somebody like myself that went through similar things that's coming out on the other side of that, that's making something of themselves, that can articulate themselves and carry themselves in a certain way. And that's where I'm headed. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, you know what? I remember one, I went to several. I went to one she had on Goodman Street. I went to the one in the mall a couple times. And I remember one of the guys says, how do you become free from being incarcerated? And they were talking, see, I don't like when people have the discussions that I'm an entrepreneur, I do this, I do that. Because when you do that, you're labeling yourself and you're hiding behind this.
Right.
And just because you become an entrepreneur, just because you make a certain amount, and just because you're doing certain things, you're still incarcerated. So when you talk about being free, and that's what I was talking about that day, I said real freedom comes from being free in your mind.
Right.
Where you're not working to be known, which they call a house person, because I'm in the master's house, I'm better than you.
Right.
Because that's the way people come off at, okay, man, I got a PhD in this, I got this. I'm proud of what you're doing, my brother.
Right.
But understand we're still human beings. So my freedom is not designed or designated or known by what I have. My freedom is known by who I am.
Right.
With it or without it, I'm still Wayman Daniels, right? So when I dropped that dude's jewel on a young man, I was basically saying, man, don't strive for those things. It's okay to strive for them. But be free within yourself. Because and I said it just like this, I said, some people are out of prison but still in prison.
Right.
I remember
mentally.
that. Exactly, because they're a slave to the applause.
Ooh,
that's
a major.
Look at the football players, what they strive for to be the best. They want a trophy.
Right.
Master, I want to get you this trophy. Basketball players, Master, I want to get you this trophy. But Master, the one making the profit, he'll give you a little bit of the field. But I'm striving to make him happy, and then I got the nerve to say that we can't cry, but I cry for a trophy?
Wow. Right.
I'm crying for a trophy.
Crazy, man.
But I can't cry to you because I'm hurting.
Right, as a real man. That's crazy,
Master, we
man.
made it.
Yo, you talking that talk, brother, man. I hope they listening, man. This is real here, man. That's crazy analogy right there. He crying for a trophy, but if we cry as a man, we look that funny.
Come on, man.
Like, it's crazy, man. I don't. One more thing I'm gonna speak on before I take up so much of your time, but I want to tap into the double standards with women and men. Like, I see a lot of it happen mostly on social media, and I ain't gonna say it happens a lot in the world, but I see it a lot happens on social media. How do you feel about like the double standards with women saying they could do certain things, but men can't do certain things? It's like.
Brother, that is called division.
Okay.
And it's being planted out there.
Right.
And we're falling for this nonsense.
Yeah, because now they got shows, Pop the Balloon, and all this disagreement stuff.
Bro, I don't have anything wrong with women's rights. I don't have any problem with a woman getting paid the same amount of money, but I do have a problem where women thinking that they're self-sufficient without a man.
That is an issue.
That's a great big issue, because now you got a woman saying, I don't need a man. I make more money than a man, so what do I need a man for other than procreation? Then you got women around here talking about they're the alpha female. Ooh. See, this is a false narrative, because again, it's causing division. And the best way to conquer any nation is to divide them. Ooh. So if you got black women who's always saying this, how can you have a Black Lives Matter movement in your family or in your house if you're thinking that you're superior than your mate? Because you're basing your superiority up on what you're bringing in as far as making the finances, right? So how do the two become one? We got to start thinking together. Baby, I might be making $100,000 a year. You might be making 50, but let's put it together. That's $150,000 we got together.
Right.
It's not me making this, I'm better than you.
Right.
But when you come from that mindset, you can never become one because you're going by with the system, social media, which is an antisocial platform.
Ooh.
And the reason I say it's an antisocial platform because when you go home or you go to a family gathering, what everybody doing instead of talking?
On their phone.
On their phone.
Ooh.
So it's an antisocial platform that they're saying that's social media. But I want you to understand the subliminal messages too, because when you call a person that's on drugs, you call them a user. They call people that go on social media users.
Right.
Because it's geared towards addiction.
Wow.
So now Harriet Tubman said I could have freed a lot more people or a lot more slaves if they knew that they were slaves.
Right.
So if I'm a slave, because the addictive word addiction comes from the Greek word, which means a slave. So if they're calling me a user and I'm a slave to this algorithm, I no longer have control of the way I think and the way I move, and I'm picking up their algorithm and putting it into my family.
Right.
So when you get these people that are saying that I don't need a man, I'm a boss, that means you're not willing to submit yourself to the man who is supposed to be the leader by design. But the only way that he can be a leader by design is that he's leading by example.
Right.
Humility.
Right.
But if he's not leading, but he's trying to lead with an iron fist, of course that woman going to rebel against him. But if he's leading in a spirit of humility, submitting to God first, and she sees him doing that through his examples, then she has no problem with submission. But man, this thing here, man, we got to be careful what we eat.
Yeah.
So this is what I was talking about earlier. We're allowing the system to dictate how we think and how we move.
Yeah.
We're no longer independent thinkers, but we're thinking that we are.
Right.
And we're not.
That's crazy. It's dividing the home, like you said.
Dividing the home.
First they started with putting the men in the home in prison.
Yeah.
Now they sending tablets to little 3 years old.
And this is the sad thing again, because we're allowing the algorithm to be the babysitter.
To control, right.
I will not let my daughter get on her tablet until the weekend. And when she does it's only for 2 hours.
There's a certain time limit,
That's
right.
It. That's it.
Right.
I said, because what happens is if you put them on the tablet, it flattens their creativity. Because when we were kids, we used to think of things to play.
Right, go outside.
Yeah,
and
you
all
know what I
that.
mean? So if you're on the tablet, where's your creativity? It's nothing. You're being fed something. So I said, no, for 2 hours, you get it for 2 hours. But before that, before you even get it, let's pick up a book.
Right, right.
Let's go on YouTube and watch a video. Let's get your mind right.
Yeah.
And then we can feed your flesh for 2 hours. And that's all we're going to do.
Right, nothing more, nothing less.
Because if you don't be careful, social media, the algorithm is going to be feeding your child, and then you're going to wonder why they don't talk to you.
Right, why they a certain way.
Why they a certain way? Why they always going in their room?
Why these Kia boys is out here and all this crazy stuff.
I used to work with these guys, the Kia boys.
Oh, man.
I work with Gun Involved Violence Elimination, which is the GIVE program. I go and speak there.
That's awesome.
And I tell a person right now, when I go in those rooms, I say, this is not normal. How can you be comfortable being on parole? How can you be comfortable going into prison with all men and then thinking that it's normal?
Ooh.
It's not normal. You need to be uncomfortable sitting your behind right here, right now, listening to me.
Right.
So now let's get uncomfortable and do the things that we need to do to be successful and get off parole.
Right.
And I tell a person quick, I'm on parole for the rest of my life, bro. I might not be on the system. I'm on parole with my children. I'm on parole with Uncle Sam. Don't let me pay them taxes.
Right.
I'm going to jail.
Right.
That's parole.
They taking you away.
I'm on parole with my wife. Let me come in the house after 10 o'clock. We're going to have some problems in the house.
Yeah.
So I'm on parole even with my kids. If I'm not providing for them the certain way that I should be, then here come the county. Child Protective Service. So we all have to deal with parole every day. In
some way.
In some shape or form.
Right.
But in that being on parole, make sure you're doing what you got to do, not to violate.
Right. Stay straight.
Stay straight. So when I go in there, I just keep it real with them. Self-imposed incarceration is real.
Right.
I put myself in jail. Meaning psychologically, emotionally, and spiritually. I do this, we do it every day, bro.
Yep.
If I turn the corner and go see a girl, I'm just putting myself in imposed incarceration knowing that it can tear up my marriage. Bro, is it worth it?
Definitely not.
Oh man, come on,
Definitely
man. Then when
not.
I need a place to stay, can I call in? Nope.
No, you can't. You be out on the streets. All right, man. I
Yeah.
took up enough of your time, man. I just want to get any final thoughts before we sign off.
Yeah, guys, if you want to see me and you would like to know more about what I do, I put my phone number out there, 585-524-9997. 585-524-9997.
I'll put it up on the screen.
That's for Open Mic Communications, where we do personal development that leads to leadership. I also talked about workshops and presentations. So everything I talked about is a workshop, or it could just simply be a presentation. I'd be more than happy to come to your organization, even to your schools. I always put it out there because I'm not small-minded, but big-minded. I would come to NFL teams, any sports venue, any college. Who needs me? Just give me a call. Wayman Daniels, Open Mic Communications. Thank you.
Yes. And I co-sign everything he just said, man. It's official. It's real.
Yeah.
He tapped in with Upstate Exposure Podcast. I go by the name of Ken Kniff, your host, and we signing off. Peace.